similar shapes, and surds. They can ask this, and it'll be regarded as a more difficult GCSE type question. Non-calculator, by the way. So it says 2 rectangles below are similar. Find EF. So find this length. Call it X. Now, students do this in different ways. All right. So the first thing some students do is they find the scale factor of enlargement. But I like to look at this in terms of ratios, especially when it comes to harder problems. So let me give you guys another example just to help you see this. So you have 2 triangles which are similar. Say you have 1, 3, 2x. Okay? So you can clearly see that the scale factor of enlargement is 3. Yeah, you're timesing by 3. But it's a lot harder to see when comparing these two. Okay? So you need to look at it in terms of a division. So what you're saying is 3 divided by 1 is the exact same as x divided by 2. So now you immediately form an equation. So you're saying x divided by 2 is the same as 3 divided by 1, which is 3. So you times by 2, x is 6. Obviously, this is a very basic example, okay? So always think of it in terms of a division, because here we can basically form an equation which we can then solve, all right? So look at this in terms of ratios. I'm saying x divided by root 3 is the same as root 12 plus 2 divided by this. Okay? So we have root 12 plus 2 divided by root 12 minus 2. Okay? Now obviously we're going to multiply through by root 3. When do you do that? I mean, you could do it whenever you want, but we could do it now, to be fair. But we know we're going to have to rationalize this denominator. Yeah, so they would have said it in the exam, but I'm not writing all that. So we could multiply through by root 3 now. So we times both sides by root 3. Now, as I'm writing it right now, what mistake am I making? Well, if you've been watching me long enough, which if you haven't, you should be subscribed, you wouldn't be making these kind of mistakes. Loads of students would just write 2 root 3. The first thing you should be doing before you multiply through by denominators is putting a bracket around anything that has more than one term. Okay? So here the root 3 goes because we are multiplying through by the denominator, right? So you get x equals. Now here you can multiply out the bracket. What is root 3 times root 12? Well, you just multiply within the roots. You're going to get root 36, which is a nice number, plus 2 root 3. Now at the same time, I'm going to want to simplify this, okay, because root 12 can be simplified. They would probably tell you in the exam to leave your answer in the form of a plus b root 3. So root 12, we can rewrite as 4 times 3. Then we have that minus 2. I'm just going to keep a bracket around all of it. So I get x is, the root of 36 is 6 plus 2 root 3 all over. Then here we have the root of 4, which is 2, and then we have root 3, minus 2. Now, would you have times the top and bottom now and start rationalizing the denominator? Or would you have noticed that every single number is divisible by 2 and divide every single number by 2? That's definitely the best way to do this. So let's divide everything by 2. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. If you have 2 root 3 and you divide by 2, you only have one of them left. So you get root 3 over. Here we're going to get 1 root 3 again, minus 2 divided by 1. 2 divided by 2, sorry, is 1. Now we're going to rationalize that denominator. Now this comes from the difference of 2 squares principle. You want to square this and square this. So you have to multiply by itself, but change the sign in the middle. So you get root 3 plus 1. Root 3 plus 1. So we get x is, now in the denominator, all you need to show is that root 3 times root 3 is 3. Or you're just squaring this. You're saying square this, which is 3, minus square this, which is 1, which comes from doing this times this. Okay? Now on the numerator, you are going to have to expand that. You can't leave it like this. So we get 3 root 3 we get 3. We have root 3 times root 3, which is just root 3 squared, which is just 3. And then we have root 3 plus what? Root 3 times 1, which is root 3. Okay, let's go over here. So we have x is 3 plus 3, 6, plus 3 root 3 plus root 3 is 4 root 3, divided by 3 minus 1, 2. And there we go. 6 divided by 2, 3. 4 divided by 2, 2. Root 3. Yeah, essentially I'm dividing every single term by 2, but 2 divided by 2 is 1, and writing divided by 1 you don't need to do. And there's our answer. So guys, when it comes to the tougher questions, especially when it comes to similar shapes, you definitely want to do it this division way, not this whole scale factor method, because we can make these questions way harder by making the whole thing algebraic, having x, x minus 1, x squared, and 2x minus 3. Now, you're not going to work out the scale factor, multiply all that stuff. You're just going to do that division. So trust me, in the long run, doing it like this is much better. If you learned something today, I'd appreciate if you hit the like button, subscribe for more maths content, and if you're interested in my GCSE maths courses, details in the description, and you can join the Lund Gang Reddit if you want to submit your own questions and discuss more maths questions. See you in the next video. Nice.